In Quebec, you can buy beer and wine in corner stores, in gas stations, and in supermarkets. Stores even advertise their best prices as they compete for customers. That's different from most of the country, and especially from Ontario, where the beer store operates.
At the beer store, it's a commitment we take to heart.
Despite what many people think, the beer store is not owned by the government. It's in fact a foreign-owned monopoly. It's owned by the brewers InBev of Belgium, Coors of Colorado, and a minority share by Sapporo of Japan. Worried about competition from corner stores, the beer store is running these ads claiming that kids will get easy access to booze.
Have fun tonight, boys.
But in Quebec, like everywhere else, it's a crime to sell alcohol to children, and that can cause store owners either a lot of money in fines or their ability to carry on their business. But the beer store also makes other claims, like higher prices if anyone other than their monopoly is allowed to sell beer. Not true. I'm here at Marché Gravel. It's the king of beer. That's what they call this store. It's a small dépanneur, a corner store in Aylmer, Quebec, part of Gatineau. And this is the type of store that the Brewers Retail, the monopoly in Ontario, doesn't want you to know about. Why? Great prices, great selection, and it's easy to get to for people that live in the neighborhood. I'm going to go in and check it out. Alan, how many cases of beer do you think you sell in a year? I understand it's 100,000 just for one company.
Yeah, with the Molson Lager, over 100,000 cases.
That's a lot of beer for a small store.
But we are the beer king.
So, how many different types of beer do you have? I see behind you Sol, Dos Equis, Grolsch. There's lots of Coors, Alexander Keith's. How many, do you even know how many different kinds of beer you have?
We have a 300 or 400 different kind of the beer. But a lot of microbrewery, we didn't order it yet, so we'll be coming more.
Alan Lan, owner of Marché Gravel in Aylmer, Quebec, says selling beer is a good line of business to be in, which is why other corner store owners want in on the opportunity.
We do this effectively in over 5,000 stores around the globe, and we don't see, mayhem in the street. We see responsible people making the right choices. We see our operators in our stores and doing the right thing.
So what about prices? Well, the beer store claims that the average six-pack in Quebec will cost you $15 compared to $10.88 in Ontario. That's not what I found today or ever. A quick comparison of beer prices between Ontario and Quebec shows beer drinkers in Ontario and beer drinkers in most of the country are getting hosed. One of the arguments made by the beer store for keeping their foreign-owned monopoly is that if you have beer in corner stores, well, you're just going to pay more. Living on the Ontario-Quebec border, I know that is not true. Take a look behind me. Case of Heineken, it's listed for $26.99. That's before tax and deposit. Add that in, you're paying $33.43 for that case of beer. That'd be $46.95 in Ontario. Case of Labatt Blue, $25. 13 cents. You're going to be paying just over $31 for that case. Or a case of Keith's, again, $26.99. That goes for $33.43, tax and deposit included. In Ontario, what are you going to be paying? Just about $41 for that same case of beer. It doesn't add up. The stories coming out of the beer store are lies. Can you end up paying more? Yeah, if you end up like Alberta, where you pay more because of the tax, because of the government control. But in a free market system, which is what they have in Quebec, you pay more. Plus, there's a heck of a lot more selection. The scaremongers at the beer store also claim that if they don't control the supply, you'll only be able to get top brands, none of the craft brews or the imports so many people like. Again, another false claim. The selection here at this one particular store is incredible. Behind me, you've got old-fashioned beers like Labatt 50. You've got Stella Artois, Bud Light Platinum, Bud Light Lime, Budweiser, Michelob, Stella, Heineken, Miller, Pabst Blue Ribbon. The selection of Sleeman's is incredible. Foreign beers, domestic, imported. You've got all kinds of different microbrews here that you don't even get at the beer store in Ontario. And then this stack of beer right here. This is just one kind of gluten-free beer. They serve many others here. The selection, I would argue, is better than what most people will ever see or experience at the beer store in Ontario. This is what happens when you've got the free market system. The free market system that the foreign-owned monopoly is afraid of. I tell you, I don't know what the guys at the beer store in Ontario are talking about. They say you can't get service, you can't get selection, you can't get price. I'm leaving with 6 different types of beer at a better price than I'd get in Ontario. And talk about the ease of doing this. I used to live in Montreal. You just walk down to the corner. If we had private beer sales in Ontario, well, within 5-minute walk of my house, I would have at least 3 different places. I'd have the gas station, I'd have the Giant Tiger that would sell high-end and low-end, and I'd have the Farm Boy with an organic section of microbreweries if I wanted it. This is where things are at. This is where Ontario should be moving.